Hello, hey, my name is Justin, and today I'm doing a presentation on the Chinese opera. And my portion today of the Chinese opera is I'm going to be covering training and how the Chinese train for the opera. Through this presentation, you will see just a little bit into what what it takes for them to train. Let us begin. And I apologize for the technical difficulties, but my computer will not connect to my TV, so I had to record my slideshow on YouTube. So I'm playing the slideshow on YouTube. This is a video of Wang Yibo training for the Peking Opera. You can see it's pretty rigorous, some of the training they have to do. And of course the makeup. They have to wear a lot of makeup. The costumes. You gotta be pretty talented to do that, all those moves in the makeup. That takes years of getting that right. Okay. Alrighty. Now, the four main skills of Peking opera training. So the break it down, the main steps are speech, song, dance, acting, and then of course combat, which you have your acrobats and you have all your fighting with the different weapons as we showed in that video before this slide with the spears, and also of course martial arts as well, fighting manner and styles. Okay, so this is a picture that I found that is from a movie set that Jackie Chan was doing. And what I learned, and fun fact about Jackie Chan, is that he actually grew up in one of the schools training for the Chinese opera, which is where he learned all his stunts and all his martial arts and all the things he uses in his acting movies today that we enjoy. It started from that, which I thought was interesting because I really like Jackie Chan. Right, moving on. Okay, so this slide is just a brief description of the history of the Chinese opera. It kind of breaks it down to how it started, what era it started in, which emperor started it, and how different emperors, implemented different things, different dynasties, kind of started the history of the Chinese opera and where it got its roots, its foundation. It's kind of, explains that, how it started. All right, this picture here that I found, I actually found it on TripAdvisor, believe it or not, for the school, advertising for the school. It's a tumbling class from the opera school at Beijing. Okay, so let's talk about modern Chinese opera. Chinese opera training typically involves a rigorous program focused on singing, acting, movements, martial arts, music, and stagecraft. I'm going to break them down for you just a little bit to kind of give you a brief description of what those entail. So we'll start with singing. A distinctive vocal style where strong projection is emphasized and clear articulation of traditional melodic phrases are used. And then acting. Students embody characters through specific gestures, facial expressions, and movements with a focus on conveying emotions and the story. And of course, movement. Gotta have movement. This includes acrobatics, stage combat, stylized movements that are integral to the performance. And then martial arts, everyone's favorite. Some styles of Chinese opera, like Peking opera and Cantonese opera, incorporate martial arts training focusing on agility, strength, and combat techniques. And then music. Students learn the musical instruments used in opera, performances, and how to interpret the music. You can't have an opera unless you can interpret the music. Just wouldn't be right. And last but not least is stagecraft. Training in costume design, makeup, and stage setting is also important. I mean, you can't have an opera without the stage and the costumes and the makeup. It wouldn't be an opera. And so it takes people learning and training in that to make everything come together and happen, to put on a performance. And this is a picture of children, of course, performing martial arts. And this picture here is I just put this in here to show you, not necessarily along with training, they have to train to be able to perform with all this makeup on, with all this costume on. I mean, I can't imagine trying to do martial arts with all that makeup on. It would definitely take a lot of practice to basically, perfect that technique in that, attire. Just doing regular martial arts is one thing, but doing it on stage and in costume and makeup takes a lot of skill, a lot of dedication. And you'll find the Chinese culture, they have a lot of dedication to their craft. All right, this is a video. It shows spear fighting technique, fighting during the Peking opera.
Spear fighting is one of the most important martial art skills in Peking opera. It refers to the thrusting of the huaqiang, a traditional Chinese spear. Because of its thin handle, the spearhead is prone to shaking when used, making it challenging for the enemy to anticipate where it's going to go. The best huaqiang performances are very smooth, almost like a dance, which can take years to perfect.
Okay, let's talk about some traditional training methods. And I'm going to start with Master Apprentice System. Students learning directly from experienced performers. And then you go down foundation exercises. So foundation is used to build strength, balance, the flexibility, and coordination. And then specific schools that teach specific techniques. So there's some schools that just teach certain things that you can learn, like martial arts. They break it down to different specialties, basically. And then repetition and performances, repeated practice and performances are crucial for developing skills. It takes some years, repetitive, to learn each step to perform it just correctly. All right, moving on. All right, let's talk about modern training methods. So institutions and schools. One example is the National Academy of Chinese Theater Arts in Beijing offer degree programs in Chinese opera. There's also immersion programs. An example of immersion program that we found was the Princeton, Shanghai, Peking Opera Immersion Program. They offer intensive training for a short period of time. And there's also some online resources that you can find to help you with this. Online videos provide instruction to learn about the Chinese opera and help you learn some of the steps that they do and techniques. Alrighty, and these are my references that I used to get to put this presentation together and found out a lot of the information. In conclusion, training for the Chinese opera is a lifelong commitment. You have to be dedicated to the rigorous training. Chinese opera is deeply rooted in Chinese culture and history. Thank you.